Well, ladies and gentlemen and brethren, thank you for all coming here today. It's a very hot day, so I won't go on too long. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. But I know some of you travelled great distances, England, Wales, and from Greece. Of course, we have our brethren from Greece as well. But we have a very special guest here as well, which we are honoured to present. That's the Most Worshipful Brother John Wiseman. He's Programme Master and Grand Lodge of Master Mason. John, wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much for coming with your life. I do hope you enjoy this afternoon and tomorrow as well.
Lima, thank you very much for your kind welcome, and I'm sure we're in for a delightful couple of days. I'm delighted to be here to celebrate your efforts in providing this wonderful provision for this facility here for the cathedral.
We are here on a very important occasion for the Masonic Order of Athelstan, of course, the King Athelstan Memorial Foundation, and for York Minster Fund as well, which I'll explain a little bit more. So our first visit here, which was with Derek Broderick and Michael Carter, was in January in 2024. And where you're standing now was a building site. In fact, the foundations of this building had actually just been laid. And it was January, so the temperature was a little bit different as it is today. And we did say that one of the things that we wanted in June in York was it not to rain. So the gods have smiled on us. They've just decided to put us into an oven instead, which is fabulous. So as I mentioned, the foundations were laid, and we were escorted around by Alex McCallion, who is the director of the works in the precinct. And he was extolling the idea that they had with regards to their specific project, which is the precinct neighbourhood plan. And part of that precinct neighbourhood plan was the moving of the Stonemasons Lodge into a centre of excellence, and also providing accommodation for apprentice stonemasons. Now, I mentioned foundations, and when we were here, it was indeed just a concrete slab, and you will all understand when I say what a wonderful superstructure has been erected on those foundations. And when we were here, Derek and Michael and myself, with Alex, and we met with Neil Sanderson, who's just retired as the director of the York Minster Fund, they suggested that we might be interested in actually sponsoring one of these modules. And I have to pay tribute now to Right Worshipful Brother David Chambers, who I know is here. David introduced us, and here we are today. Art and science that has developed into speculative Freemasonry, which we all enjoy today. The next year was 926. Now 926 has an incredible resonance for Freemasons, because it was in the year 926 that King Athelstan caused his half-brother, Prince Edwin, to call a General Assembly of Operative Masons, guess where? Here, at York. Obviously not very far from here. And what happened were the ancient charges to regulate, majority of them, the morals of stonemasons in those days, were actually laid down here 926, so next year 1,100 years ago. King Athelstan decided he quite liked York. York then was in the kingdom of Northumbria, and York then was run by the Viking king Sitrick Snaggletooth. The year previous, in 926, Athelstan had married Edith, one of his half-sisters, to Sitrick Snaggletooth. And in that year, in 927, he died, Sitrick. So Athelstan decided, quite rightly, that he should annex York. What did that mean? Well, he moved on from York, and he eventually ended up on the 12th of July in 926 in Cumbria, what is now known as Cumbria, at a place called Maberhenge, and he signed a treaty with all of his enemies, ceding the lands to him, and they all became his sub-kings. Athelstan then became the first king of all of the English. At that point, England was born. And I mentioned that, and Lionel mentioned that we have some special guests, of course, a reference to Most Worshipful Brother John Wiseman. And we also have another 3 organisations which are represented here, and it's very important because of where we are, what we've achieved, and what it means to our Freemasonry, our speculative Freemasonry. And of course, we have representations from the craft. We have the Grand Master from the National Grand Lodge of Greece. We also have Right Worshipful Brother David Chambers. We have Right Worship Brother Mark Constant, and we have soon to be Right Worship Brother John Watts, who will be the Provincial Grand Master of Durham in a short week's time. But not only that, we have Most Worship Brother John, and of course Right Worship Brother Den Wilson from Mark Masonry. Of course, the Mark and the craft all come together with regards to making these splendid edifices. But we couldn't mark them out and we couldn't build them without having the operative Freemasons here. And of course, Ray Ellis is here representing Most Worship Brother Paul Mycock from the operatives. And we hope tying you all together is the Masonic Order of Athelstan, because without all of your organisations, we couldn't exist. And without us existing, we couldn't have enjoyed in the celebration we have today in raising this edifice. I'm now going to introduce you to Kate Birch, who is the head of fundraising and development. Obligation that we made on the 6th of January at this spot to yourselves and to Alex, and I now present you with this cheque for the York Minster Fund.
Turn around. Yes.
Alright, if I can just say a few words on behalf of York Minster. We're delighted to welcome you all here today as our honoured guests. We're exceptionally grateful for your generous support. A project like this doesn't come cheap, as you can imagine, and the support of everyone who has contributed via the Athelstan Foundation. We deeply, deeply value that, so thank you. This is one of the most exciting places. It will really transform the future for particularly young people with an interest in heritage skills and training and technology. And we hope that we can welcome you back again as our apprentices progress. The first should be moving in from this September. It will be available to all our new masons, joiners and building apprentices. And we will also welcome, I hope our overseas visitors will appreciate, people from across the world who will come from our cathedral partners to stay here and to live in a true Mason's Lodge model, eating together, sharing the same living space and working together in the workrooms. If I can finish by saying that the values of York Minster, I was really interested to see, seem to really correlate with yours as a group. We really value respect, integrity, and most importantly, friendship. And I think this centre and your generous donation really bring all those things together. So thank you so much.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, and the reason why it was my choice, the reason why I chose number 6 was twofold. We had made several visits back and saw the progress of the building being built. And Kate and I were walking in here one morning, and it was a quite nice morning. And one of the painters had left their ladders against the wall where Charles is now. And they were exactly in the form of an A. And that for me was instantaneous. It has to be number 6. And what also number 6 is this is going to be an accommodation module for an overseas stonemason, as Kate has mentioned, that particular project. And I think with the expansion of the Masonic Order of Athelstan overseas has been incredible, and I think it's only apt that number 6 is the accommodation module for us. And it is called the Order of Athelstan accommodation module, the Order of Athelstan room. And it gives me great pleasure to, on behalf of the King Athelstan Memorial Foundation and of course the Masonic Order of Athelstan and all of you here present today, to officially Thank you. So, ladies, gentlemen, brethren, I'd ask our very important guests to now have a look at the accommodation module. John and Kate, could I invite you into the Order of Athelstan accommodation module? Nice in here.